Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. When a publicly traded company makes a big splash in the crypto world, it's worth taking a closer look.
Absolutely, especially when they're promising faster, cheaper, and more flexible payments. It's a bold claim, and we're here to break it all down.
That's right. We're diving into Blaqclouds Inc. and their relaunch of ZEUSxPay. So, to set the stage, Blaqclouds is a major player in the tech world.
Yeah, they've been making waves in blockchain and decentralized finance for a while now.
Okay.
It's a publicly traded company pushing the boundaries.
So they're not new to this space. But ZEUSxPay, this payment platform, what's the big deal? Is it just another app, or is there something more to it?
It's definitely more than just an app. We're talking about a Layer 2 solution built on the ZEUS Chain, which is their own high-speed Layer 1 blockchain.
Okay, hold on. I need a quick refresher on the whole layer 1, layer 2 thing. Why is that so important for a payment platform?
Think of it this way. Layer 1 is the foundation, the bedrock. It's secure, but sometimes can be a little slow for handling tons of transactions all at once.
Right, like rush hour traffic on a single lane road.
Exactly. So layer 2 is like adding express lanes on top of that foundation.
Hmm.
It lets you process transactions much faster and more efficiently.
Okay. So ZUXPay is built on this layer 2 system to handle those high transaction volumes we see with payments. Makes sense.
And they're claiming some pretty impressive numbers, 300,000 transactions per second with block times of just 3 seconds.
Wow, that's way faster than a lot of the other blockchains out there. But I have to ask, what about security? Is there a trade-off when you move to that second layer?
That's a good question. And it's true that some layer 2 solutions can introduce new security challenges, but the ZEUS chain is designed with some unique features to mitigate those risks.
Okay, so they've thought about security, but let's talk about practicality. How easy is it for businesses to actually use this thing? Can they integrate ZUSxPay into their existing systems?
That's where things get really exciting. Blaqclouds has partnered with some of the biggest e-commerce platforms out there. Wix, WordPress, Shopify, Etsy, you name it.
So if you're running an online store, you can add crypto payments as easily as you'd add a new product photo. That's pretty slick.
It's all about seamless integration. And they've also made it adaptable for custom integrations. So even if you're not on one of those big platforms, you're not left out in the cold.
That's smart. It's like they're casting a wide net, trying to make crypto payments accessible to everyone. But let's talk about the bottom line cost. Are we talking about expensive monthly subscriptions here?
Nope. That's one of the key differentiators with ZEUSPay. They've gone with a transaction fee only model. No subscriptions, no recurring costs. You only pay when you actually use the platform.
So it's like pay as you go for crypto payments. That's pretty appealing, especially for smaller businesses or startups.
Right. Keeps costs down and makes it easier to get started. And those fees are designed to be incredibly low. We're talking fractions of a penny in some cases.
How do they manage to keep those fees so low? Is there some secret sauce they're using?
It's not magic. It's the power of blockchain.
Hmm.
The ZEUS chain is designed for efficiency, which translates into lower transaction costs. And they're passing those savings on to businesses.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does this all compare to other crypto payment solutions that are already out there? What makes ZEUSPay stand out?
There are definitely other players in the space, but many of them are either focused on a niche market or are limited by older blockchain technology.
So ZEUSPay is trying to be the all-in-one solution with its combination of speed, low fees, and broad platform compatibility.
Exactly. They're aiming to be the go-to platform for crypto payments, regardless of your business size or technical expertise.
Well, they've certainly assembled a strong team for this. They've got Blaqclouds, the tech giant, and then they've partnered with ZEUS blockchain partners.
Yeah, ZEUS blockchain partners. They're based in Colorado, and they're the real brains behind the technology. Deep expertise in blockchain and decentralized finance.
So it's a collaboration between a company that knows how to scale platforms and reach a mass audience and a company that knows how to build cutting-edge blockchain solutions. Sounds like a winning combination.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
And they're both deeply committed to this vision of a more decentralized and accessible financial system.
Speaking of decentralized finance, or DeFi, it seems like that's a key element of ZEUSPay. But for those who aren't familiar, can you give us a quick breakdown of what DeFi actually is?
Think of DeFi as a parallel financial system built on blockchain. It allows for peer-to-peer transactions, lending, borrowing, all without the need for traditional banks or intermediaries.
So it's about cutting out the middleman, giving people more control over their finances.
Exactly. And ZEUSPay taps into that DeFi ecosystem, allowing businesses and individuals to access a whole new world of financial possibilities.
Okay, that's starting to paint a clearer picture. But let's zoom back in on ZEUSxPay itself. What are some of the standout features that make it unique?
Well, one of the most innovative features is their approach to invoicing. They've made it incredibly flexible and mobile first.
Mobile-first invoicing. That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Imagine you're a freelancer. You just close a deal and you need to send an invoice right away. With ZEUSxPay, you can do that from your phone via email, text message, or even social media.
Wow, so no more clunky software or waiting to get back to your computer. That's super convenient.
Exactly. And they support payments in over 300 different cryptocurrencies. So your client has plenty of options.
They've really thought about the user experience on both ends of the transaction. But there's one more feature we touched on earlier that I want to explore further: microtransactions.
Yeah, that's a big one. And it's something we'll dive deeper into in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, you've got me hooked. Microtransactions and ZEUSxPay. I can't wait to see where this goes.
All right, so let's talk about microtransactions. I think a lot of people hear that term and their minds go straight to like those annoying in-app purchases.
Yeah, or like paying a few cents to unlock a new level in a game. It's got a bit of a bad reputation.
But it doesn't have to be that way. When done right, microtransactions have the potential to revolutionize the way we consume and pay for digital content.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. How do you see this playing out in a way that actually benefits both consumers and creators?
Well, for starters, it's about giving consumers more choice and flexibility. Right now, we're often stuck with these all-or-nothing subscription models.
Yeah, like paying for a whole streaming service when you really only want to watch one specific show.
Exactly. With microtransactions, you could pay for just that one episode or even just a specific scene if that's all you're interested in.
That's pretty wild. I mean, it sounds great for consumers, but how does this work for creators? Are they really going to make money by charging a few cents for a piece of content?
It might seem counterintuitive, but the numbers can actually add up, especially when you consider the sheer volume of potential microtransactions.
Right. It's like the old adage, many a mickle makes a muckle.
Exactly. And it allows creators to monetize their work in a more granular way. Instead of relying on a few big hits, they can generate revenue from a wider range of content.
So it's like creating a more sustainable income stream for creators. I like that. But we've talked about microtransactions before. It's not a new concept. Why is it suddenly becoming more feasible now?
The key is blockchain technology. It provides the infrastructure and the security to make microtransactions viable on a large scale.
Ah, okay. So we're talking about secure, nearly instantaneous processing of even tiny payments.
And because you're cutting out intermediaries, those transaction fees can be dramatically reduced.
It's no longer cost prohibitive to process those tiny payments. That's where ZEUSxPay comes in, right?
Exactly. With its low fees and high transaction speed, ZEUSxPay is a perfect fit for this kind of micropayment ecosystem.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture, but I need some concrete examples. What are some practical applications of microtransactions that ZEUSxPay could enable?
Let's start with content monetization. Imagine paying a few cents to access a premium article from your favorite news website or unlocking a specific chapter of an ebook.
So basically say goodbye to paywalls. That would be a game changer.
And it could extend to video content as well. Pay a small fee to watch a single episode of a web series or to skip those annoying ads on a YouTube video.
Oh, I would definitely pay to skip those unskippable ads. Sign me up.
Right? It's all about convenience and choice. And beyond media, think about online gaming. Imagine buying in-game currency or virtual items in tiny increments.
Okay, so no more pressure to spend a fortune on virtual loot boxes. I can just buy the one item I want.
Exactly. It's all about giving consumers more control over their spending. And we haven't even touched on the potential for tipping and donating online.
Tipping and donating with crypto. That's an interesting one. Tell me more.
Imagine seamlessly tipping a content creator for an insightful article, or donating a small amount to a charity with just a few clicks.
It's like making it easier to show your appreciation or support a cause you care about.
And those small contributions can really add up for creators and charities alike.
Okay, I'm starting to see the ripple effects here. This isn't just about changing how we consume content, it's about transforming the whole creator economy.
Y'all got it. It's about empowering creators to connect directly with their audience and build a more sustainable income stream.
This is exciting stuff. But as with any emerging technology, there are always potential challenges and things to watch out for.
You're absolutely right. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are definitely some potential bumps in the road as microtransactions become more widespread.
Yeah, so, we've talked about all this potential upside, but let's not sugarcoat it. There are definitely some challenges to consider.
Right. It can't all be smooth sailing.
Yeah.
What are some of the potential roadblocks as microtransactions become more mainstream?
Well, for one, I think there's still a lot of education that needs to happen. People are used to paying for things in certain ways.
Yeah, breaking those habits and getting people comfortable with this new model that's going to take some time.
Absolutely. And there's always the security question, too. While blockchain is generally very secure, any new system is going to have vulnerabilities that need to be addressed.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
We don't want people to be hesitant about using microtransactions because they're worried about their money being stolen.
exactly. Security is paramount. But beyond those practical concerns, I think there are also some bigger picture ethical questions to consider.
Like what? You mean making sure people aren't being exploited or underpaid for their work? Yeah, that's a big one. We need to be careful about creating a system where people are essentially working for pennies.
Right. It's great to empower people to earn crypto through microtasks, but we need to make sure it's fair and sustainable.
Absolutely. We don't want to recreate the problems of the gig economy in this new digital space.
So it's about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly. And that's going to require a lot of thought and collaboration from all stakeholders.
Speaking of stakeholders, we haven't really talked about the role of governments and regulators in all of this.
So that's a whole other layer of complexity.
Uh,
How do you regulate a system that's designed to be decentralized?
it's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
It's definitely a challenge,
Mhm.
but I think it's crucial to have those conversations early on to ensure that this technology develops in a way that benefits society as a whole.
Right. We want to avoid those unintended consequences that can sometimes come with disruptive technologies.
Exactly. It's about being proactive rather than reactive.
Well, this has been quite a journey. We've gone from the nuts and bolts of ZEUSxPay to the potential of microtransactions to reshaping the global economy. It's a lot to process.
Yeah, it's definitely mind-bending stuff. But I think that's what makes exploring these emerging technologies so exciting.
It's like we're witnessing the birth of a new era, and it's up to all of us to shape what that era looks like.
Well said. I think the key takeaway is that we need to stay informed, stay engaged, and be willing to have those tough conversations about the future we're building.
Absolutely. To all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into ZEUSxPay and the transformative power of microtransactions. We'll continue to explore these topics as they evolve, so stay tuned and keep those minds open.